We'll move on to our final film today then. I've been looking forward to this. This is Paterson. We haven't got a clip just because it would be just so gentle and it would make you doze off into a lovely lull. Mm-hmm. So let's go then, Paterson.
Yeah. So Paterson is a film by Jarmusch. And we just had a Jarmusch film, didn't we, with
Gimme Danger last week. Yes.
Yeah, and the two coming along at once, just like buses.
Oh, very good.
Just like buses.
You wait 10 years for a metro and two come at once. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And so in Paterson, our little driver is a bus driver called Paterson in the town of Paterson.
Driver Paterson.
Driver in Paterson, in New Jersey. And it's a week of his routine, pretty much. It's him as he goes on his routine. He drives the daily route on the bus. He has a look around the city, listens to conversations on the bus, overhears sort of fragments of conversation and writes poetry and just it's his life. And then he goes into a bar. After, at the end of every night, always the same bar at the end of every night, has same conversations with the same people, drama kicks off, and it's a very quiet film.
Well, we should say, drama kicks off very minorly, and very occasionally, not like a big thing, because nothing happens in this film really.
Nothing. It's
very little.
Highly uneventful film.
Is that all you've got to say?
Well, that's all the plot is, really, isn't it?
It's kind of it, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's really all the plot is.
Can I start? Because this film put me in a really bad mood.
Okay.
Because never have I been sucked into a world as much as this. Never have I wanted to leave this world and go into the world of a film like Paterson. Because I just think it's wonderful. I think it's on my list now. It's 4th in my films of the year.
Really?
I found it incredibly relatable. And I just sort of wished I was Paterson. I sort of I'd love to just be that sound, be that content with life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just to be that happy with the ordinary, because we've got in our world where it's like you've got to do so many different things. There's so much expected of you. There's so many things you've got to do, this, that, and that. And Paterson always finds time to write poetry and just to be happy. And even though he's got this girlfriend who's overly quirky, let's just say that she's overly quirky. She does everything in black and white.
She's quite a lot of extravagant designs.
She's got this obsession with black and white things. She buys this guitar because it's black and white, and she wants to learn the guitar. She does everything black and white. She paints the whole. Every time he comes back from work, something else is being painted black and white. So she's this very overly quirky, irksome kind of character. A lot of things that really get on his nerves, but he suppresses it because he is such a sound guy. Even when something is it when the bus breaks down, he comes back from work, he's had a really bad day,
the bus breaks down,
and she's just bought this guitar which costs loads of money that they don't have, and she's like, oh, shall I cheer you up with a song? And he's like, inside, please don't play me a song, but he's like, yeah, sure, play me a song. And he's such a nice guy. And it's Kylo Ren's such a nice guy.
I was waiting for him to bring out his lightsaber.
This is it, right? So he lives in Paterson all this time. There's only so much a man can take of this quirky girl and this boring life that he becomes Kylo Ren. He's like, you know what, I'm fed up with this. I'm going to go and smash up the Death. I'm going to go and smash up everybody.
One way to the Death Star, please.
Exactly. The film has no plot. It does have a plot. It's just very ordinary. Films don't need to be $150 million blockbusters. I think it's nice that we have a film that is ordinary, and I think for all the films that we can say are relatable, something like Edge of 17, we can say it's relatable, but really it's still a tad far-fetched on our own experiences. But I think everyone's been through something the way Paterson has. Everyone has that sort of boring day-to-day routine that he has. I think his world, this sort of it's a very boring, banal world, but it also has these little quirky Jim Jarmusch fantasy bits, like the fact there's twins everywhere, and the fact that everything's black and white, and the fact that he has these characters who have these conversations on the bus. Every day there's a different conversation on the bus that he overhears. There's one about these anarchists, these teen anarchists, and they're saying we're the only anarchists in Paterson, and he's like, nah.
Good little guest stars from Moonrise Kingdom as well.
Was there?
Yeah, that was the teenager and the girl from Moonrise Kingdom.
What?
Yeah.
Was it actually?
Yeah, did you not recognise them?
No.
They grew up. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's strange. The poetry as well, let's say, it's quite naff. The poetry starts off pretty naff. But I think as the film goes on, it gets better. Mm-hmm. So I liked that. It just left me feeling very floaty and very nice. I was just smiling for the whole thing.
Yeah, the drama that happens is extremely quiet.
There's
a gun pulled in one scene.
But again,
it just happens.
You don't break a sweat,
shots fired. There's no sweat broke.
No,
it happens. The drama is very quiet. It's the same routine over and over again. But somehow you're you're not bored.
I was
You're
never bored.
You're
Never
brought
bored.
into you're brought into the world, and you're like, you know what? This guy's happy with his life. He sees the little triumphs
Mhm.
of everyday life, and he
It's the
accepts the
little
little
things in
defeats.
life.
You know,
Joe?
And he
Yeah,
accepts
it was fantastic. It was great to see a character who was just satisfied.
Satisfied.
Nothing. I mean, when I was
Nothing
reading
sense.
on the way back the Sight and Sound interview that Jarmusch had, and he was talking about the Ozu influence, and you can kind of see that if you watch Ozu's films, it is just daily life really, and it's just the big dramas that come out of that. And yeah, I felt that a lot in Paterson. I absolutely loved the film. It carried me all the way through it. But it's films like this where there's not a lot going on. Like it's weird because it's when big moments happen in films. It's like wow, but with this it's nice and quiet. So all the little things that happen feel like big moments.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what with films like this. That's what kind of happens. And Paterson has many of those. And if I ever watch it again, I can't wait to see it.
I definitely want to see it again.
Yeah.
Let's just say there is a story beat towards the end of the film where something that is, it's a major part of the film that suddenly ends when the I'd say that's one of the most heartbreaking moments I've seen in film for a long time, and it's such a small thing in our world, but to him that's everything, isn't it? Like it's very nice. I just even just speaking about it, I just feel more relaxed, and I just feel like everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine
until he turns into Kylo Ren and starts stabbing people.
Yeah. Until he gets the force choke.
Yeah.
I think it sticks up for bus drivers as well. I think it not just bus drivers, but those in ordinary jobs. You don't need to be a super chief police officer. You don't need to be some kind of fire engine man. Or,
You just have to be who you want to be.
fire thingy. You just do what you want to do. And obviously, like it could be said that he's a poet who happens to be a bus driver, or a bus driver happens to be a poet.
Yeah.
But just you don't need to be this big thing. You can do whatever makes you happy. And I think he is happy. I think there's lots of little things that sort of are put there to test him, but it just he deals with them in such a nice way.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough how great this film is.
A brilliant little. I mean, I want to say like a little pleasant film, but it doesn't feel like little films, indie ones. You feel like, oh yeah, it's a nice little quiet film. It's not.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't. No. It
No.
feels like that's what I mean when I said earlier. Like the little moments
It
just
feels
feel
big.
Yeah. That's when you have that amount of intense focus on the just ordinary.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't even spoken about Adam Driver himself.
Oh, yeah.
Could anybody else have done this role the way he did it?
No,
Probably
no,
not.
no.
I think, especially now that he has done it.
Well, it's like all roles now, because when you say Paterson, I'll just think Adam Driver. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised how nice this looked visually as well.
Yeah, it's really
Like
well
it
shot.
has a really nice look to it, considering it is just contemporary American social life, and it looks really nice.
Paterson. See? Don't you feel so much better now you've heard that? Now what you've got to do at home is you've got to go and see it. Now that we've spoken about it, you've got to go and see
then
it for
put
yourself.
it in your head canon as the origin story is Kylo Ren.
Yeah. That will make it all do. I mean, if I do watch it again, I'll be sitting there thinking like, he's Kylo Ren after this. He's also in Silence as well, which comes out in a few weeks, and it's supposed to be very good. And that's about 4 weeks away.